Every week, a new band. Brought to you by NZ On Air. Active Live! Yeah.
No mai, hi to mai. Welcome. You're here on radioactive.fm and you're here on the Active Live, brought to you by our wonderful friends at NZ On Air Music. And today we are joined by four-piece Space Bats. Attack Kia ora team, thank you so much for joining us.
Kia ora, thanks for having us.
Kia ora, thank you.
It's great having you here, and obviously great that the tour could be rescheduled because you're up here with us, Rangu, at the moment. We're lucky to have caught you as you're here. How's the tour been going so far?
Yeah, the tour's been going great. Yeah, I had a wonderful time down on the South Island. We outran the chill in Christchurch. It was pretty cold there. Yeah, it was pretty pleasant. Yeah, we had a great show down in Dunedin. It's kind of like good hometown, kind of like homecoming. Space Bats probably haven't played for 16 months, so it was awesome for us to. We managed to get 2 practices in with Lee living up here in Portlange, so it was great.
Our last show was on the boat.
Yeah, it was in the boat in the Wellington Harbour. So yeah, this is a lot more stable.
That is amazing. When was that? It's 16 months ago. What was that show?
Yeah, it was just after. Was it just after Welcome to Nowhere? I think.
So.
Yeah, so it was about early February. Yeah, last year. But it was us night lunch. Was it just us and night lunch? Yeah, that was us. Yeah.
Ah, what an awesome show. That's very, very cool. And it's great to have you up here in Porneke, Lee. That's awesome. Now, I see Space Bats Attack's a wee bit of a super group because you're all, all over the place in various awesome bands that we've had in throughout the years. And of course, you're no strangers to the Aotearoa music scene in general. I wanted to ask, and this is sort of directed at all of you, sort of directed at some of you, but how do you find balancing these various projects?
Well, the tour is actually a perfect example of it. What we do is we try to combine everyone together for doing joint headliners. So that makes things work much easier. I think when we all first started, we were all in different bands. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and we're all in Dunedin as well. Yeah. So I guess we catch up. I guess a couple of times a year. So I'm based up here, and the other guys are down south, and so it's always pretty fun to jump on a bill if they're coming up north.
Yeah. Team up, and we share members and share gear and share common ethos. So that's what it's about.
Oh, that is beautiful. And yeah, again, it's very indicative of the wonderful community and scene that you're a part of. In that case, can you talk us through a typical Space Bats Attack practice now that, Lee, you're up in Porneke?
I guess the first part is probably finding a way to get all of my gear down south so we can do something that's fairly close to what the setup will be. I think we just quickly run over everything that we've done in the past. We send ideas back and forth through the lo-fi phone recordings and it comes together pretty quick. These guys are really, really sharp musicians, and I try to keep up.
Yeah, I think when we were jamming this album that just got released, I think it was probably, we were doing a couple of maybe 3-hour practices, maybe sometimes, multiple times a week. So there was lots of jams, and we would just, I don't know, spend maybe the first half an hour just trying a new jam out, just seeing what happens at the beginning.
Yeah, chronic overthinkers.
Yeah, chronic overthinkers. So it's a way of like trying to overthink to begin with, and then overthink to get out. Yeah.
Overthinking to get in and out. I like that a lot. Now, can we hear a track from you guys?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. This one's called Shifty Drifty. It's from our first record.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. That was awesome. Thank you so much for that, team.
Our pleasure. Sorry, we run those two songs as a medley, so it just naturally kind of rolled into the next one. So that second one was Schrodingus, which is from the new album.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I was wondering about that.
It's a
They
very
work-
long song. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. We just got so used to playing the two, so we're just going 2 in 1.
Well, they work so well together. Why wouldn't you? You know, it's
Exactly.
so perfect.
In
Yeah.
the same tuning, you know,
Yeah.
because there's so much tuning involved. We may as well do them together.
Yeah, very good point. Oh, that was awesome. 2 for the price of 1. How cool is that? Now, Space Bats Attack has been in a wee evolving project for, ages now. It's been here since the early 2010s. Lee, could I ask you to sort of describe the band's sonic trajectory for us?
I mean, Josh and I started in the attic playing as a 2-piece. We played, I think we were trying to remember this the other day, and we actually played in Christchurch with Proton Beast as a 2-piece, and maybe another couple of gigs. And then other people just got on board, and it was really fun. Like, with Rich coming on as well, because it was, I hadn't played in a band with another guitarist before, and it's just like, 2 hands at the piano. It's really neat. And also he's like a chord dictionary, so it's so we just, I don't know, I guess over time just change things up. Like a lot of the songs that we've recorded, we've already kind of tweaked for our live show.
Yeah, so many iterations.
Yeah, it's it just keeps things interesting. And we've got a lot of 3-hour jam recording files back in the day when we were able to play till 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
we never managed to have a noise complaint in the attic because I don't think they could figure out where to send the complaint to.
Yeah, where's the sound coming from? Yeah, it's not an official address of any sort. Yeah.
That's awesome. Your own secret underground space. Oh, how cool is that? And yeah, as you said, it's been such a you've had so many different lineup people in the lineup, different iterations of the lineup. It's really cool. I really like the description of having 2 hands at the piano with having 2 guitarists. I think that's absolutely beautiful. Can you tell me a bit about how you all met?
Yeah, well, we're all in and around the same scene at the same time. I guess we're all in different bands at that stage. I think Josh and Zach would have been a Distant City probably at that time. Yeah. And Lee was in Thunder Cub.
Yeah, and I think there was I think I met Josh and Zach through the Ant project. Oh, well, it was Chick's project at the time.
Right. Yeah.
That was held out at Chick's Hotel, or was hosted mainly at Chick's Hotel, but it's a really amazing. I guess I wish Zach had the mic because he probably explained it better than me. Yeah.
Go for it.
It was like a youth mentoring program for young bands in Dunedin, and it was really cool. Just like they would put on workshops on songwriting and how to put on DIY gigs and stuff. It's still running, and it's called the Amped Project now.
Yeah, that's right.
So, if you're in Dunedin and you're young, go on the Amped Project.
Yeah, I mean, it's if anybody's interested, it's just a really amazing model, for youth and music, and I mean, and it kind of goes to show as well the people who've come out of it as well. There's I mean, I could rattle off a few, but it's it's like a
Yeah.
Kane.
Kane Strain was through it. Millie Lovelock, is now under Repulsive Woman. So many bands that came out of.
And it's it's all pretty I guess low budget. It's a lot of people just volunteer their time, but it's kind of an amazing way to save people going around in circles for a long time if you can just pass on all the mistakes you've made and tell them how to avoid them.
Yeah, it's a stepping stone to like people becoming in people's bands as well, because Lee linked up with Josh to start Space Bats Attack, but then Lee joined Mr. Biscuits, the band that I had out of high school as well. And so there's just so many kind of like cross pollination going on.
God, that is so cool. I feel like you've just revealed a massive secret there. The Amped Project. That's where the pedigree of Ōtepoti musicians come from. That's so cool. God, I had no idea. I'll have to look into that. That is really awesome. And it's really cool to hear as well, Lee, that you were part of Mr. Biscuits, because I had no idea.
Late stage biscuits. Yeah.
Late stage.
Late stage biscuits. Wasn't stale,
It's slightly not stale at all. Can you tell us what your favourite thing about this tour has been so far? Changing tact slightly now.
Oh, I think seeing everybody again, it's been lovely to hang out, and it hasn't been too stressful. We've managed to. I mean, Angus from Astor and Goose organised a lot of the itinerary, and it's just it's made everything a breeze and
nice and smooth.
So we've had time to kind of relax and get nice snacks and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Get our 3 squares a day, It's very important. Got to get 40 winks as well,
Hard to do on tour as well, I can imagine.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Oh, that is awesome. And a shout out to Angus as well, because he is an awesome, awesome person. And you can also go and check out our Astarango session that we had on our Active Live series last week. You can check that one out on Facebook's YouTube and all that good stuff. Could we hear another song?
Yeah, sure thing. We've got another track. It's actually from our first record as well, called Battle.
Absolutely awesome. Look forward to it. Gosh, that was awesome. What a frantic energy that has. How cool is that? Now, I know we've been playing a few things from the first album, but I wanted to talk about your most recent album now. Now, Ōt, am I pronouncing that right, first off? I've been trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
Okay,
Ōt,
good.
yeah.
Ōt was released after a 5-year writing period. I wanted to ask you to please talk us through the creation of that album, because I heard it may have had something to do with inspiration for Trace Untrace, which is very cool.
Ooh. I'm not sure about what the link is, but maybe I'm dropping a line there. But I think it came. There was lots of emails back and forward between all of us while we were mixing it, and I like the idea of it. I mean, obviously, it's Space Bats Attack is a sci-fi themed, so we kept. I wanted the idea of like it being a journey because the music we don't have lyrics, but the music has a kind of narrative journey in itself. So I like the idea of maybe some of the songs were kind of like projecting out and further into space, and I think that song tacked on the end, which is Ōt, which is the last song on the album, kind of sounds a lot more distant from how we started the album as well, pretty sonically.
Oh,
Yeah.
Also, you were on the other side of the world.
That's true. Yeah.
So we did a lot of that through email. Mainly tracked drums and a bit of guitar in the attic, and then after that, I think we just took a lot of time to sit back and listen to it and try and arrange it. Did a lot of synthesizers slowly in the bedroom, and Richard added synths to all, and it's actually one of my favorite tracks on the album. It's quite different as well. It's just the last track, so
Yeah.
you gotta get there,
Yeah, exactly. I think it sums up the kind of the what we have as a band now, even though we're living in different places. Like Ōt being that, like I think the Ōt cloud is like the most distant thing past the planets in the solar system as things. So and it's a collection of chaos and debris, which kind of feels like what it is jamming sometimes as well. So yeah.
I love it. And Richard, I love that chaos seems to be a central theme. in a
Oh,
lot of
you
your
can't get
works.
away from chaos.
No,
Yeah.
apparently not. Oh, that is awesome. Let's chat a bit about the sci-fi themes of Space Bats Attack. Obviously, aside from the very obviously sci-fi themed name, can you tell us how you find those sci-fi influences when songwriting?
I actually think now, I mean, thinking back, I had a really boring job for a summer, and then I caught up with Josh afterwards. We had this plan to make a video game music and release it with a video game and a comic and all of these things. And I really enjoy 80s and 90s DOS games, and so there was actually a video game I really enjoyed, Mutant Space Bats of Doom, or it's just one of those. I mean, it's just what's that shooter? Star Wars.
Space Raiders kind of thing.
Yeah, very, very addictive. It's probably on the Internet Archive, free DOS games, if anyone wants to look it up.
That's awesome. I had no idea that it was birthed out of a video game. How do you, in terms of video game soundtracks and things like that, how do you see those influences working into here? Because you sort of mentioned that this was going towards a video game soundtrack.
Well, I think originally we were just planning to make, I think, kind of like equivalent tracks that were lo-fi synthy drum machine kind of stuff at the same time as releasing this how it sounds, or maybe not how it sounds now, but how it sounded back then as a two-piece. And I guess it's more just something that you could listen to while playing video games with. It's just driving and keeps going forward and and on in a way.
Yeah, so people can bring their video games to the gigs if they want, play alongside us. It's funny, Angus actually mentioned he's a huge fan of Metroid, or Super Metroid, or the whole series. So for his 40th, which is many years away, but he's asked for us to see if we can cover Metroid soundtrack as well. So I think it could be within our arsenal to do. I mean, it'd take a lot more jams, particularly from distance, but We've said it on the radio now, so there's a record of it.
Yeah.
Angus will be out there nodding. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to do it. I can't see him from here, but I'm sure he is. That is so awesome. We're going to hold you to that as well. So
Yeah,
careful
please
there.
do. Yeah.
Oh, that is so cool, and real testament to you guys that the ideas and creativity that you find in things like video games is coming through in your music. That's very, very cool. Now, changing tact slightly, I want to talk about the narrative that you guys see in that. I suppose it's not really changing tact, but you said the music that has quite a strong narrative, regardless of whether it has lyrics or not. Can you talk us through how you see the narrative, particularly with the Ōtepoti album, but in general for Space Bats Attack?
It's interesting. I think they're I don't know, it feels very organic and intuitive how things evolve out. I don't know. It's like a different language of sorts. I don't know if it's pretentious to say it like that, but it just feels like we kind of start all these songs with one riff, which begins maybe at the beginning of a jam or practice, and then it evolves completely out of that. So it's one person starts maybe the next part of the story, and then we all follow that person, in that direction.
Pass the parcel. It's I think it's also we have ideas and we already kind of know each other's playing styles so well that we already have an idea of what that might sound like before it's even finished.
Yeah, true. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, if I have a riff, I'll be like, I know Lee's going to do something interesting with this part. So yeah, like even like just before we started the tour, we were sending bits back and forth, and we're like, oh, excited to see what comes out of this. Like, and it does changes the vibe every single time, and that's what's so fun about jamming.
That's so awesome. And it does, you really do feel that kind of natural flow that comes with the jamming quality, I think, in your music. It comes through really apparently. And I think that does sort of lend itself to the music because of the relationship you guys have. It's really cool to see that fostered, you know. Could we have another song, perchance? Might have to be a last one, I'm afraid, because we're running out of time. But
Yeah.
I'm very excited
Could
to
we
hear
do
more.
the riff?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that's probably the easiest.
Oh, we're in the tuning. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. We're just going to drop back down to D,
Ooh,
and then.
wonderful. And what is this a song from the latest album, the first album?
It's not actually.
Oh, neither.
So this is probably one written at the same time. Yeah. So this one came out kind of like a standalone live recording. So we really haven't done a proper recording of it. So it's kind of we've brought it back in, which is quite emblematic of Space Bats. Is we've got old ideas that kind of come back in and kind of had to do a resurgence. Then we reworked them completely.
Yeah, we like them second time round.
Yeah, like the second time round. By the time the third time, we love them. So. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Hey, well, thank you for playing it here. We're very excited to have it in the Active Live session.
Wonderful. Thanks so much. So tiny touch of tuning. 10 seconds.
That is awesome. Hey, thank you so much, team, for bringing this chaos to our live room. It has been so awesome having you here.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Yeah, kia ora.
Awesome.
Active Live. Friday, 3:30. Every week a new band. In studio. Brought to you by NZ On Air.